Bobby Lofton was at home on the La Jolla Indian Reservation when the Pumacha fire came blazing along the ridge behind his home on Palomar Mountain.
It's changed my life. I can't help it. I don't know how other people think, but like I said, things are not important anymore. I mean, material things. I don't take life for granted. I mean, we could have easily been burned too, but I was the last one here. I thought I can get the hose, but it was way up there, and I go, it can't come down here.
But it did come down. Bobby's wife, Donna, remembers the smoke.
When I left, I looked out the window, it looked like hell. Everything was on fire.
Yeah.
And I just started grabbing things and the dogs and got in the car.
The Loftons had lived there 9 years. When they returned, their house was gone.
It was all gone. There was nothing here, just the ashes.
They searched through the debris.
And I even went to look into my filing cabinet, and I thought, oh, it's in good shape. Opened it up, everything black in there. Yeah, all my papers and everything. It was a little angel left, It didn't burn.
Here's Donna's advice.
If anything should happen, be sure to get your pictures and your papers. It's the most important of all.
Tribal Insurance, Amaranth Risk, rebuilt their home, bigger than before and with a fire-resistant roof and closed attic vents. But one of the only mementos in the Loftons' home of their life before the fire is this photo, saved because they'd given a copy to their parents.
That's a treasure, because that's your wedding,
Back in town, Mary and Buddy Cater live in the middle of a subdivision in Rancho Bernardo, but they too lost their home and everything in it in the Witch Creek fire. Like the Loftons, they have a new home now, but the first thing you see inside the front door is one of the few things that survived the fire. Mary found it in the remains of their washing machine.
This is a corner piece of a quilt that didn't burn that my mom had made. These were all that I could salvage. They were all ended up stuck together, but you can see where the singed burn, and it's just pictures of my kids when they were little. I lost their baby albums.
When the Caters were awoken by a reverse 911 call and evacuated around 6 a.m., they expected to be home in a few hours.
We were in two different vehicles. She had the kids, I had the dogs. And I knew we were coming back. I didn't even think twice. I'm like, this is crazy. Why'd they make me get up so early?
They drove to a friend's house where Buddy played pool and Mary watched the news on TV.
All I remember is Mary screaming at the top of her lungs. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's when he heard the scream, because I knew it was our house. And so the kids came running from downstairs. He came in from inside. And at that moment, we cried as a family. And that was it.
She walked upstairs and called their insurance company. From that moment on, she says, rebuilding their life became a full-time job.
The biggest thing, inventory, everything you have, from, your shoelaces to your Maserati. I mean...
But nobody's going to really do that, though.
Right?
It's not feasible to me.
For Buddy, the big question is why, when they'd insured their home for 25% above its replacement value, did they discover they were underinsured by $50,000?
Well, how much does it cost per square foot to build a house? You don't know. I still don't know, because I don't know if the rates have gone up.
The Caters had to fight their insurance company to rebuild, an experience that ultimately Mary says was empowering.
The biggest thing we learned was being your own advocate. Every gadget, everything that had to be replaced, and doing the property list and negotiating and talking and insurance meetings and all of that, that's became my life for 2 years.
The Caters and the Loftons both rebuilt, but it took years to create a new home, and life will never feel as safe as it did before the wildfires of 2007.
Well, sometimes when the weather's very windy,
That's always
we would get kind of nervous, and whenever we're coming home and see smoke somewhere, we still, we look and we'll think, oh dear, I hope that's not up our way.
Alison St. John, KPBS News.